monkeys.
Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls Golden, what if, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back with, well, a brand new what if, but a what if movie. What if Deku was Frieza? Little quick thing, it's not gonna be necessarily he's Frieza, but it's gonna be like he's Frieza race, you know, like the Arcosian race, which is like what they deemed, in terms of the fandom deemed what Frieza's race was. But I just wanted to say, what if he was Frieza? I feel like it just makes things simpler. So that's what I decided to say instead of trying to do all this extra stuff with the title. So simple title, right? Straight to the point. And yeah, but I just wanted to say that really quick. Also, shout out to my boy Saint for the music. Make sure to check the description below for everything, including the Discord that I have down below. Yeah, so make sure to join that if you want to talk to me or post what if ideas that you want me to see. I don't talk too much in the Discord, but I usually will read everything that's happening in the Discord, and I'll reply depending on if it's important or not. Yeah, that's about it, and I'm not going to waste any more of your time, so let's just get right into the what if. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya, a young child that was born and brought into this life. A world with, well, superpowers, other known as quirks. Izuku, though, was born with, well, some sort of birth defect, and, well, everybody was terrified. His father said that he was a monster, and that Inko, his own wife, gave birth to a monster. The doctor ran out of the room in fear of his life. The kid came out with small horns on his head and a very small stature. But the thing is, for a child or a baby of his age, he was pretty big. He wasn't ginormous by any means, but he was bigger than the average child. And, well, Izuku looked terrifying to everyone else. He looked like an alien. He had white skin, and parts of his body seemed to be abnormal, and they were covered in purple. But these horns were the thing that pushed everyone over the edge. Everyone ran. Well, the only person that wasn't scared was his mother. His mother cradled her newly born son. No matter the way he looked, that was her son, and she didn't care. And, well, Izuku, well, kept this in mind for the entirety of his life. When he was 4, he began going to school, and he started getting bullied by everyone. And honestly, Bakugo was not even in the limelight for him. He was just another bully. Izuku didn't have friends. He looked so odd compared to everyone else, even though there were many other people that had weird defects, it seemed, as well, but those seemed like quirks. What Izuku had didn't seem that way. Izuku seemed like a freak, a monster, something that came from outer space, something that wasn't supposed to be on this planet. Well, Izuku didn't mind though. He controlled all of his emotions that were overwhelming him during that time period, and just channeled it into training, into being a hero, just like, well, the one he sees on TV, and the one that bestowed his heart, well, his heroic nature in the first place. All Might. All Might would, in the face of all danger, save everybody. Everybody felt safe when All Might was around. And Izuku wanted to be just that. Izuku wanted to be a symbol of peace, someone that can protect everybody. So he trained day in and day out to, well, evolve himself, change his being. He may be some alien type of person, but he wanted to make sure that he can show everyone that they can be protected and that he will protect them. During this time, Izuku began learning more and more about his mutation. And, well, he learned that he can, well, fly, shoot beams out of his hands, and do various other things like telekinesis, like his mother, and just further and further his strength. He learned also that the form that he currently holds is not, well, his final form. He can actually push himself further. During a fit of rage and frustration one day after he came home from school, this occurred. He began changing into a more pure state, a state where that was far beyond his, well, form with both of his horns. He did this and his body became clean, smooth. Everything seemed normal, for instance. He still looked like an alien, yes, but to him it was different. It was, well, it was more human-like. His mom, well, Inko, was shocked by the revelation, shocked by how much his or her son has grown in this time. Izuku has worked so hard, pushing himself to, well, become a hero, and she's visibly impressed and tells him that no matter the way he looks, though, she will always be his mother, and, well, he will always be her son or her baby. And he smiles. Inko has been the only one that's really been supportive. His father left him at a young age. The doctor, when he was born, was scared of him. So Izuku always looked up to his mother, very protective over her. And, well, around everyone else, he tried to be as polite as possible. But that only worked for so long. It got worse and worse. So Izuku decided just to not say anything. And if people decided to, well, assault him or speak foully upon him, he would retaliate, only when he deemed fit. He decided that doing this would allow himself to be at peace with these people. These people wouldn't bug him, bother him, and annoy him as much. And he was right. Not many people kept bugging him. The once nice and loving Izuku was, yes, still there, but he decided to push that side away slightly. But that side of him, though, would always be with him around his mother, but everyone else saw a different side. Everyone else saw a side that was cool in a way. Izuku wouldn't take anything from anyone. He wouldn't be directly mean, or he wouldn't be the bully by any means, but he was not going to take any slack from anybody else just because they felt some superiority complex because of the way he looked, or because they felt that he was some alien. And this happened all the way until the end of middle school, where their teacher told them that it was finally their time to choose if what they wanted to do. And where he throws the papers in the sky, saying that he knows that they all want to be a hero. And Izuku slightly smirks and laughs under his breath as Bakugo stands on his table shouting that he's going to be number one. And the teacher announces that Bakugo and Izuku actually are applying to the prestigious school of UA. And Bakugo snarls at this, pissed. What the hell do you think you're doing? You're a freak. You can't get into school like that. Really? I think quite otherwise. There's some oddly looking people. Have you never heard of Gang Orca? He's one heck of a hero, but he definitely looks odd. Bakugo scoffs at this, saying that nobody's going to be on top except for him, and that he might as well quit now. Izuku ignores him, and the teacher tells Bakugo to sit down, and that he shouldn't speak to other classmates that way. But even in the teacher's eyes, he can see his fear. The teacher was scared of Izuku. The horns on his head. Even when he changed into his other form, it was like he was some demon, the devil, some emperor that would conquer the world of some sorts. Izuku thought of this sometimes as a joke, and maybe in his past life he was that. But all that continued. The class was then finally over, and that was the final end of, well, going to middle school. Izuku left, and he began heading under a bridge right above a sewer. And he began hearing things moving around in the sewer, and he kept walking. Now, what is that? A giant blob of, well, sewage, green goo came out of the sewer. And It had eyes? What the hell are you? Kid, I didn't know he was here. I need your body. My body? What the? You're a creep, dude. Look, I know I'm a monster, but like, look at you. You're a monster too. Don't think you want my body. We're both equally monsters. Izuku kind of laughs at this and begins walking away, and a sludge villain begins charging at him. Izuku turns. Yeah, that's not a good idea. He puts out his hand, and a shockwave of wind blasts the sludge villain everywhere. Oh, that is, that's gross. Really gross. Out of the sewer, another person comes. I am here. What happened here? Oh, wow, All Might. It's an honor to meet you. Kid, did you do this? Oh my god, kid! Never mind. Yeah, I know. I know the way I look. I have a mirror. Well, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, this villain person thing, sludge thing, charged at me, so I defended myself. Well, it's nice to meet you, I guess, All Might. All Might then jumps in front of him and stops him. I'm sorry, kid. I didn't mean to make fun of your appearance or anything like that. It just shocked me for a second. You have the heart of a hero. Look what you did. You defended yourself. You stopped a villain that was running away from me. You did amazing. Thanks. I appreciate that. You know what? I have an idea. Do you want to go to UA? UA? Yeah, I mean, I was gonna try for the entrance exam. Well, how about this? As an apology to me, and obviously you have great potential, I want to, recommend you for UA. You'll have All Might's recommendation. Are you serious? Yes, you did amazing here. Just help me clean up, and I promise I will recommend you. You got it. Izuku helps All Might clean up, and All Might thanks him, telling him that he'll basically let him know soon what's going to happen. So Izuku gives All Might his number, and All Might jumps off and tells Izuku that he'll make sure that the word goes to UA that he got recommended. So Izuku then goes home, super excited. He arrives and his mother is waiting, asking why it took so long for him to get back, and he explains what happened, that this giant villain charged at him and he defeated him pretty easily, but All Might was there, and that he's gonna recommend him to UA. No way, really? UA? Yeah, UA. I can't believe it. I mean, I feel like I probably would have passed the entrance exam, but now I can go to UA on the recommendation of All Might. That's great, honey. After a short bit of time celebrating, Izuku and his mother obviously go about life normally. Izuku continues his training, his minor training, just running, doing stuff like that, and working on his other abilities until 10 months pass, and he arrives at UA for his basically recommendation exam. And when he arrives, he does a couple of minor tests, and he goes to the very last one, which is a odd race of some sorts. And he's lined up with someone that has a scar on his face and half hair, and another person that is of big stature and it's super nice for some reason. Even to Izuku. Izuku actually gets weird looks from everybody except for this person. And he even asks the person why he doesn't, question about his appearance. And the boy tells him that he would never, judge a book by its cover. And Izuku's happy about this. He introduces himself as Izuku Midoriya, and the other boy tells him that his name is Inasa. So, after a little greeting, their race then begins. It's just a straight path of running, or, in Izuku's case, flying. And the race begins between, Shoto Todoroki, Izuku, and Inasa. They all sprint off, and Izuku blasts off while flying, and Inasa is not that far behind using his wind powers. Izuku finishes first, and Inasa is impressed. Shoto Todoroki seems to scoff and is mad about the outcome. Inasa tries to shake Shoto's hand, but he ignores him and is pissed about it. Izuku tells him to not worry about that and that it was a great race. He shakes Inasa's hand and Inasa smiles. He's telling Izuku that he wishes him the best, especially if he goes to UA. Thank you, I appreciate that. So, Izuku is obviously passed the recommendation exam, and well, it basically determines where he's going to get placed, and he gets placed in class 1A. And soon after, he gets his uniform and all of that stuff, and eventually leads to him going to the class on his first day. He walks up to the door and it's giant. The door is huge and he's pretty small. He's a short person, of course, and his horns maybe give him a couple more inches in height, but that's about it. He begins thinking that this must be for giants and that maybe there's, well, kind of like monsters like him. He walks in and he's greeted by a familiar face, Katsuki Bakugo, someone that bullied him for a while throughout basically all of school. Oh no, not this kid. Izuku just walks in and ignores him, while Bakugo argues with somebody. Izuku sits down and, well, another person walks in as well. A girl, someone with pink skin, and she looks very similar to an alien. And Izuku kind of smiles at this, thinking that maybe there are other people that are very similar to his situation. She looks at Izuku and runs over and basically compliments his little horns and that they're actually really cool and that she has like little antennas as well. Izuku kind of laughs and tells her that he can see that and that they're really cool. So they all sit down and eventually, well, the teacher arrives by the name of Shota Aizawa and he introduces himself. Hello, I'm Shota Aizawa, your teacher. I'm going to be your teacher for the next 3 years, so get comfortable, but not too comfortable, because I will expel you if you're too comfortable. Well, listen up. We're not going to do any of these other little first year festivities. Oh, first day you go to orientation. No. We're going to go outside, and we're going to test. I'm going to test all of you and see if you're worthy of being in UA. Okay, follow me. Everyone follows. Izuku follows as well, and well, they arrive at a field. And Aizawa looks around, looking at Bakugo. You, Bakugo, throw this ball as far as possible. You got first in the entrance exam, so let's see what you got. Of course, I'm better than all of these extras. Bakugo walks up and spots Izuku. How the hell are you here? Damn freak. He keeps walking and walks to the circle, launching the ball using his quirk, and it blasts 900 meters. Not bad, 900 meters. So why'd you call that kid a freak? Huh? Look at him. What do you expect me to say? A freak, huh? Yo, Midoriya, right? Come over here. Midoriya walks over and bows to Aizawa. Is it my turn, sensei? Yeah, it is. Go ahead. Izuku grabs the ball and launches it. As Aizawa looks at his meter and sees 10,000 meters. Now that is something. Bakugo scoffs at this and begins saying that there's no way he's that strong. Yes way, Bakugo. I am that strong. It's funny that you doubt him. It's ironic, actually. I've heard good things about you, Midoriya. I hope you live up to that. So far, you have. I mean, wouldn't expect anything less from someone that was recommended by All Might. Everybody is shocked. All Might? What? No way. Recommended by All Might? Why would that happen? Doesn't matter. He's still an extra. All Might, what did he see in you? Frickin' loser. You're just a freak. Multiple people in Class 1A, ranging from Tsuyu to Shoji to various others, begin saying that they don't think he's a freak. That everybody looks different in this world, and he maybe looks a lot different than everybody else, but that doesn't make him a freak. They begin saying that Bakugo is completely out of line for this. We have people that have different colored skin, like Mina, who have pink skin and looks like an alien. But nobody cares about that because she's just a normal person like everyone else. We have people that have multiple arms or that can grow more limbs, and someone with a tail, just like Izuku. Aizawa hears them all say this and slightly smirks, realizing that these future heroes have pretty good potential. So the rest of the assessment goes on, and Izuku gets first. I mean, his raw strength, speed, and all of that helps him do just that, and he's only in his first form. He's just in his normal form with his horns. He, right now at the moment, isn't very good with his other form, well, his quote-unquote final form, and he knows he has other forms he could use, but they're not really optimal by any means, and there's no real reason to use them except for a slight power increase. So he decides to just, use his first form and hope that eventually he can learn to train and basically access this other form at will. The test is now over, and Aizawa tells them all that they passed and that they're going to be just fine for the next years to come. He then looks at Bakugo though. You, on the other hand, need to think about what you're saying. Think about what your thoughts are. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be a hero, you can't be judging others by the way they look and by the way they act. And frankly, the way I see it is you are, not fit to be a hero. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you a little bit more time to see if you can be a hero. Aizawa dismisses everyone, and Bakugo tries to contest, but Aizawa ignores him and walks away. So the next day then arrives, and when Izuku arrives at school, Aizawa begins explaining everything that is going to occur. Listen up, I'm not going to be teaching you today. Someone else is actually, and he should be here about right now. All Might then comes busting through the door. I am here, walking through the door like a normal person. All Might enters and everyone begins to get excited, and they begin asking if he's really a teacher. Izuku kinda laughs, assuming this to be true, especially with the whole recommendation thing. And All Might says yes, that's exactly what's happening, and he tells them all to go and meet him at Ground Gamma and get on their hero outfits. Izuku arrives, and actually he doesn't have necessarily a hero outfit on. Izuku just wears something his mother made him. It's very similar to a gi of some sorts. He thinks it's a good idea to maybe upgrade to something kind of like battle armor of some sorts that will maybe have good elasticity, but for now a gi is just fine. He's not necessarily a martial artist, but he did base a lot of his training off of martial artists. So his mom felt inclined to make it based off of a gi, like a karate gi. So that's what Izuku is wearing as he walks up with the rest of his class. All Might then begins announcing what the plan is.
Here's the plan. I want to see what all of you are capable of. So, I want to do a 2 versus 2 match. How about it? Who would like to volunteer?
Izuku raises his hand and says that he'll volunteer for one of them. Bakugo does the same, saying that he'll take the other team. Asui then raises her hand as well, saying that she'll join Izuku, in which then Todoroki decides to join Bakugo because of the last little event that they had and meeting together at the recommendation exam. So they all go out to the Ground Gamma, and their fight is then called to start. Their fight begins, and Izuku immediately appears in front of them. Bakugo blasts him with an explosion, and Todoroki blasts him with ice. That's what you get for thinking you're so high and mighty, you damn nerd. As Bakugo says this, the ice begins to shake. Everything around them begins to sputter. and an explosion occurs. The ice erupts into nothing, and Asui jumps over. She kicks Todoroki in the face, and, well, Izuku immediately punches Bakugo in the stomach, grabbing his arm and pinning him to the ground, punching him in the face, knocking him out cold. He quickly uses his telekinesis on Todoroki before he can get up, slamming him into the wall. And the fight is already over. Just like that. Izuku, compared to everyone else, is at a different level. Izuku's been actually training, been working hard. He realized that his appearance would hurt him in terms of being a hero. So he decided that he'd work on his strength, make sure nobody could defeat him. And that was his goal. His goal is to be even stronger than All Might himself. All Might announces that the fight is over. It's only been 5 seconds though. All Might is shocked by this, but impressed at the same time. He knew Izuku had insane potential, but this is something he did not expect. This isn't potential, this is clarity. Izuku is showing that he can be strong. That no matter the way you look, you can be a hero. All Might then begins thinking that this kid is even stronger than most pro heroes. That he might even be able to stand up to himself. But even All Might doesn't know Izuku has power beyond what he's just showing. So when they arrive back, All Might tells them to bring Todoroki and Bakugo to Recovery Girl and tells them that they both did an amazing job. They had pretty good teamwork and, well, it looked like they were bound to dominate the fight anyways. So the rest of the 2v2s go on as, well, as expected, and just go on for the rest of the students, and All Might then dismisses everyone, telling them to have a good rest of their day. Izuku then begins to leave, but he's stopped by someone. Someone grabs his arm. "How'd you get that strong?" "Oh, Todoroki, right? I trained, that's it." Izuku moves his arm and Todoroki questions him that there's no way he got that strong by just training. It's not that simple. It is that simple. "I'm not cursed. I'm blessed. Whatever this quirk is and whatever it is exactly, I'm blessed because of it. I'm far stronger than you even expect. I've trained though. I wasn't born with strength. But I will say, whatever this quirk is, it gave me the means to get this strong." Izuku leaves, and Todoroki is there sitting there speechless, thinking to himself that maybe his ice is not going to be enough to, well, be a hero how he wants to be. Izuku goes home and does the same old, tells his mom about his day, and, well, they have a nice dinner together, and Izuku, well, goes to sleep. And, well, during this sleep, Izuku has a dream that he's been getting. A dream of someone that looks exactly like him, destroying planets, killing entire races, and laughing while doing it. Emerges a giant ball of fire out of his finger, and it crashes into a planet. As it erupts, that same person that looks exactly like him begins laughing at the destruction of, well, this so-called planet. Izuku wakes up in shock and begins panting. Why do I keep having that dream? What is that? What Izuku doesn't know is that this power that he has is, well, a blessing, but a curse at the same time. He's seeing someone who originally had this power, who originally used it for far different things than he wants to use it for right now. Power corrupts, and he questions himself. If he gets strong enough where nobody can stop him, who tells him what to do? Will he still be able to contain himself when people call him names, when people make fun of his appearance, when people, well, make fun of him, his mother, anybody he loves? Will he still be able to control himself? Or will he turn into the person he sees in his dreams? The person that destroys planets, the person that is a conqueror, someone that can't be stopped. Izuku, plays with this thought for a while. And during breakfast, his mom asks what's wrong, and Izuku just says that he has, that dream again. Inko stands up and pats him on the head, saying that no matter what that is, if that's a past version of himself or a future version of himself, that he controls his own destiny and that he can control anything that will happen from here on out. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. Well, after breakfast, Izuku then heads to UA once again, and when he arrives, Aizawa begins explaining that they will start rescue training. Aizawa has them all leave, and they all go on a bus all the way to the USJ. When they arrive, Pro Hero 13 is there waiting, and she begins explaining what the, plan is and what they do in the USJ. During this, though, something odd begins happening. Izuku begins sensing something from the middle of the USJ. Villains begin emerging from a portal, and Aizawa tells them all to stay back and tells 13 to protect the students. Aizawa jumps down as Izuku watches on as these people come out of a portal. As this happens, Izuku gets this urge to fight. He immediately flies down and stands in front of the entirety of all of the villains. Something seems to be taking over. This instinct to destroy, to defeat everybody in front of him, that these people are coming into his school, the school he goes to, with the students or classmates that are around him. They think they're superior. They think they're better than everybody here, being able to just come and do whatever they want. Aizawa questions what Izuku thinks he's doing, but as Aizawa asks, Izuku swipes his hand and knocks out everybody. All the villains, small fry villains that were there to help these other major villains, were instantly put out of commission. Holes were sent through them, and most of them were basically either dead or passed out from the pain. Izuku begins kind of laughing. What the hell's happening, kid? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me. I've never felt better. Aizawa is shocked by this. Izuku seems to be not himself. That normal, nice person that was within him, not there anymore. Izuku continues to push forward as Shigaraki, Kurogiri watch on. Now who the hell does this brat think he is? It was quick, I'll admit that. Kurogiri, send in the Nomu. A Nomu, a giant monster, comes barreling out of a portal, and Izuku stares at it. And as he does, he begins getting a flashback. Not his own flashback, but a flashback to something else. A flashback to a hulking figure. And this hulking figure seems to be, on a planet that was erupting in fire. This hulking figure is attacking him, while these two other people that seem to be very powerful are fleeing the scene. Izuku, during this flashback, looks at his hands, and his body seems to be golden. What the hell is happening? What is going on? Izuku looks at the being one more time and sees that it's not the same person he saw in his flashback. Izuku begins to get frustrated. His mind is starting to play tricks on him. He's seeing what his past self saw, but this isn't his life. Izuku begins to, obviously, question himself. As this occurs, he gets madder and madder. He gets frustrated. As the Nomu charges at him, he gets sucker punched in the face, flying backwards, slamming into the wall. What the hell is going on? Why do I feel like I'm Izuku's rationale begins to, diminish. He begins to transform. His aura erupts in a purple flare, and he changes into his quote-unquote final form. The form that looks more sleek, the one without his horns. He's, in a position where he's losing himself. Let's have some fun, how about it? You are a monster, right? Let's see who's stronger. Izuku charges in and begins beating down the Nomu while flying midair, shooting death beams at the Nomu, penetrating its skin. Everybody is standing there in shock. Izuku seems to not be himself. He takes his tail, wrapping it around the Nomu's neck, slamming his head into the ground as he laughs on. Shigaraki and Kurogiri begin talking, saying that they need to get out of here, that this kid, he's unhinged, that this is not something they need to deal with. But before Shigaraki can even take a step, Izuku blasts him like crazy with death beams, basically putting holes everywhere in his body. Kurogiri tries to come and help, but Izuku immediately grabs him with his telekinesis, slowly but surely crushing him into, a ball of mist, and slams him back into the ground, where all you can see is his metal suit that is protecting his actual body. None of you are leaving. Not until I'm done having my fun. Izuku begins beating on the Nomu, slamming his fists into his face until, the Nomu's head is obliterated. Now, for you. Izuku grabs Shigaraki by the face. Now, can you keep talking? Am I a monster? Your worst nightmare? Or exactly what you were searching for? Shigaraki begins to question what he wants, and Izuku continues talking. I want you, to be under me. I'm your master now. Or you can die. Izuku punches him in the stomach, and Shigaraki yields, saying that he can work under him. He'll do whatever he wants. Good. That's good to hear. Now bring me to this person that I know is, your former master, of course. Do you mind, Mr. Kurogiri? Kurogiri slowly gets up, extremely injured, and he agrees to help. Class 1A and Aizawa look up to see Izuku gone. And the villains are as well, at least the main ones. Aizawa begins questioning what the hell is going on with Izuku. There must be something beyond all of that. Beyond just his outer appearance, there was something going on in Izuku's head this whole time. Throughout, his childhood and everything, he began, sticking up for himself. But that wasn't his normal nature. Izuku was very passive. A pacifist, in fact. He wouldn't fight back. He didn't care if he was bullied, but slowly but surely, he, realized that it was time for him to, step up to the plate and destroy those who, defied him. He began thinking about this for a while. Maybe this is why he was having those dreams. The dreams of, being the emperor of the universe, blowing up planets, destroying, enslaving entire civilizations. Maybe this is why he's been thinking this, and maybe this is the chance for him, to control everything. Izuku then arrives through a portal, and there stands in front of him, all for one. So you're the one I've heard so much about. Now, bow beneath me or die at my feet.
Really? You think it's gonna be that simple? You're just a child. You're nothing.
Izuku immediately punches him in the stomach, grabbing his head and slamming his knee into it, pushing All For One on the ground. You might want to listen a little bit more. I said, bow down or die at my feet. All For One is visibly shaken. He's never felt such a presence. Izuku is far beyond anything he's ever seen. His speed, strength, resilience, stamina, everything. Nothing will compare to him. All For One tries to think of a way out of this, but can't find a way other than to submit. So he does. I will follow you. I will not retaliate. Good. And if you do, I'll kill you. Well, now that that's sorted out, I have some business with this planet. I, need to talk to your scientists and, the leading engineers of this world. So, I'll be back. He blasts a hole in the ceiling and flies away. Shigaraki helps All For One up and asks what they should do. All For One says that they can't do anything. Not right now. This kid, this person, whoever this person is, this monster, will defeat them if they act too hastily. So they need to bide their time the best they possibly can. Izuku then flies off. It's as if in an instant he was gone. The memories of, Izuku still remain. And, he's still himself in a way. But the power is creeping up on him. It's as if he's realizing now. He's realizing that these villains, these heroes, they're in a stalemate. Why? Why would you want to be in a stalemate when you could rule it all? When you could control it all? Izuku flies, across the world. Flies all the way to America. And when he arrives, he knows that there is a leading scientist there. And he wants some help. He enters the lab of David Shield and his family. He meets up with David Shield. As he walks up, he grabs him by the shirt. Now, you're gonna listen to me. You don't know me. You don't need to know me. But I need something from you. Robots begin emerging to fight off Izuku, but they immediately get destroyed. Now that little act of rebellion is gone, I need you to do something for me. I need a ship. Ships, in fact. A lot of them. Something that can track the entire world. Actually, something that can explore out into space further than just our galaxy. How about that? Do that for me? David Shield is shaking in fear and nods, telling him that he'll do whatever he says. That's great to hear. I'm glad you're complying, and I'd love to have you on board. That's if you don't mess up. Izuku lets go of him and tells him to, get going. Izuku leaves and goes back to, Japan. He hovers above the entire city and begins thinking to himself that everybody here is weak. That everybody needs to be controlled for this world to be done properly. And he can't do that by himself, but he could whip some people into shape that can help him carry his ideals. So, that's what he begins doing. He begins taking these villains that, seem to be nothing, and making them into loyal followers of him, and only him. Shigaraki and All For One slowly but surely begin getting whipped into shape for, Izuku. And Izuku begins, terrorizing everybody on planet Earth as he waits on ships to come. But what they don't realize is that all he's doing is waiting. Once the ships are done, he's going to completely enslave the entire planet. And the heroes begin trying to solve this problem, figure out a way to stop it. And their meeting is happening at UA. As you all know, it seems a student went, AWOL. And this is no ordinary student. He's far stronger than most pro heroes. Honestly, not sure what the limits are of his power. He's already seemingly put one of the strongest members of the League of Villains at his whim. So what do you all think? How are we going to solve this issue? I agree with Aizawa. This may become a serious problem. So, I think we all need to team up. We all need to defeat him. Now. All Might then buds in and begins apologizing, saying that he's the one that brought him to the school. But Nezu cuts him off, saying that he didn't know and nobody knew that this would happen. Something must have been occurring far before this. Far before any of this hero stuff happened. Flashback years prior, Izuku obviously was getting bullied. But it seems that this, bullying did a lot more than expected. It brought out his true self. The only person that even showed an ounce of care to him was his mother. And then, his future classmates, in which he saw very little. He saw them stick up for him, and maybe this subsided that other side of him for just a little bit longer. But once he saw those villains, once he saw the strength of the Nomu, once he saw that it felt as if he was being looked down upon once again, that he was just some student to those villains, that he was nothing, that they were searching for something else. They were searching for All Might. But Izuku, but himself, he's bigger, better, badder, stronger than All Might. Izuku has this interesting predicament that he has this power, this immense power that he can use, and why doesn't he use it to get what he wants? His mom, of course, taught him to be better. But when you have this power at your fingertips, how could you ignore it? How could you just say, no, I want to be a good person? With great power comes great responsibility, but at the end of the day, you don't know that. You don't know what you're going to do when you get this type of power. And that's what is happening with Izuku. Izuku is being overridden by this power. He feels this need, this want to just take over, control everything. And the heroes need to stop him before it's too late. And that's what they try to do. They put on a full out assault onto where he's currently at. Izuku is currently commanding everybody in a giant warehouse, and police, heroes, and everyone alike come out of the shadows and try to defeat him. The villains are eliminated, and Izuku is left just by himself. Yes, you might have beat them, but they are quite useless. How about you beat these two? Shigaraki and All for One come out from behind him, including multiple Nomus. Let's see what you got now. All for One charges in at All Might, and Shigaraki charges in as well with the other Nomus, and a fight begins, a massive one. This fight will determine the fate of, Earth, not just Japan. This will determine everything. The threat, though, was so massive that even heroes from America were traveling currently to Japan on high-speed jets to get there to help with the fight. People from various other countries as well began coming, trying to do their best to help. This was now a global crisis. This was no just crisis in Japan. This was something serious, and everybody knew it. So everyone began to come. But when they arrived, everything was destruction. Everything seemed to be obliterated. The pro hero, the number one hero in America, arrived, and when she arrived, she saw the body of All Might, Aizawa, Endeavor, all of them dead to rights, with Izuku floating above them. So you are the one they call in. You're from America, correct? I already took down all of these other heroes. And spoiler alerts, they're dead. I am here, well, to take my throne as the strongest. Star and Stripe scoffs at this, saying that she will not let him go any further, placing a new order upon him, telling him that Izuku Midoriya, if he was to move a muscle, would die. Oh, now that is interesting. I would die, stop breathing, I assume. Now, how about this? Izuku puts up one hand, puts up another, and begins clapping. I'm not dead. That's odd, don't you think? Well, that's because, well, Izuku Midoriya isn't here anymore. It's just me. It's just me. Star and Stripe is shocked, terrified, and begins asking, what do they mean by just me? Oh, it's just your Emperor. Izuku begins blasting beams into Star and Stripe, and during this, All For One and Shigaraki decide to make their play. They begin to try and take Star and Stripe's quirk. Izuku sees this and stops firing. Go ahead, take her quirk. I don't mind. You both will still die if you try to cross me. All For One and Shigaraki can feel this malice, can feel the intimidation overflowing upon him. They begin to panic. All For One takes, well, Star and Stripe's quirk, but is too scared to do anything with it. I told you, you are now my underlings. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you have a problem with it, I can kill you now. Frankly, it would save me time. Both Shigaraki and All For One then bow. They apologize, and they say that they did not mean any ill will, ill intent at all, and that they just wanted to gain the power of Star and Stripe, and maybe it would even help, well, him even more. I guess I'll believe you for now, but don't you dare think about crossing me. Izuku then leaves them, flies away, and well, he begins flying away to a house. The only house for miles that isn't obliterated, blown up, or destroyed. He knocks and someone opens the door. It's his mother. And his mother is shocked by this. But then a grin begins to come over her face. Hello, mother. She begins telling him that he did an amazing job. It seems that, well, Inko Midoriya knew this would happen. But maybe she knew more than what she was leading on. Well, it didn't matter to Izuku. Inko was the only one that would be a trusted follower. The highest of command right next to him. His own mother, of course. Family is, well, someone you can trust infinitely throughout years and years. Izuku began his conquest over Earth, and it did not take long for him to recruit various villains, even some heroes, to his further conquest. A couple years passed and ships were made very similar to ones he saw in his vision before. And he even had a tiny space pod made for him, one that allowed him to float around in it, something he saw in a dream. He began telling everybody that they are going to start searching for planets to take over. David Shield, the main engineer, began to asking why would they do that when there's no confirmed, well, anything on those planets. Oh, here's the thing. I don't need a confirmation. All I need to know is that there's a chance. And just so you know, if those ships you made are rigged to explode, well, I'll survive and all of you will die. It's really that simple. David's shield begins to shake and promises that that's not the case and that he did everything he said. Good. I'm glad to see that you're a loyal follower. Now, how about it? Let's go take over some more planets. The villains and some heroes that joined him begin cheering and all hailing him, saying that it's time to proceed with the plans. Azuku, after conquering Earth, flies off in multiple spaceships they have as a group. They begin scouring all these planets, finding out that life does exist, and he begins conquering every single one. And well, it took was a dream, couple few words from his mother, and well, being called a monster, because he realized that being called a monster is one thing, but embracing it would give him even more power, even more respect. When he looks back at the old person he was, he's disgusted by the pacifist that he wanted to be initially, the one that developed this self-defense rule for himself, that he'd fight off anybody that would hurt him or his mother. But now he realizes that he can get everything he wants. He can have the entire universe at his fingertips if he so chooses. And that is a voyage that he wants to take, and he'll build his army so he can be known around everywhere as the Emperor of the Universe. And that is a wrap for What If Deku Was Frieza. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, sub, all that good stuff. As you guys can tell, my throat kind of hurts a little bit. That's why I was like kind of clearing my throat a little bit every so often. If you heard that at all, maybe I cut it out, so hopefully I did. Crossing my fingers. But yeah, that's why my voice sounds a little weird too. But don't worry, I'm not sick. I'm a-okay. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know. But I hope y'all enjoyed the movie What If Deku Was Frieza. I've been actually holding on to this for a long time. Completely forgot that I had a thumbnail for it, so I decided to do it. I said, why not? But yeah, so this is a wrap. I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, don't worry, God of Nature Deku will be coming out probably the following day. So, well, tomorrow when you're seeing this. And yeah, that's about it. I hope all y'all have an amazing day. And yeah, later.